So another thing I wanted to talk to you about is Harris County is not going to be relying solely on federal funds to help mitigate some future flooding. And just a few days ago, your commission approved a $2.5 billion with a B.
With a B.
Yep, flood protection bond issue, and it's going to go on the ballot on August 25. So can you tell me some of the projects that money is going to help mitigate?
Well, we're taking a very interesting approach on this. August 25th, the general election date, of course, is November. But we decided we'd rather do it on a special election on August 25th. We had to get the governor's permission to do it, because a lot of people don't like special elections for bonds. But that's the one-year anniversary of Harvey.
It just occurred.
And we did not want to go past that anniversary without being able to say we're doing something. Because people ask right now, are we better off now than we were before Harvey? And the answer is no. We're actually worse off because we haven't made all the repairs yet for what Harvey damaged. And so we've got to get started. We know the federal government has allocated $131 billion across Texas, Florida, California, Puerto Rico. How much of that comes to us, we don't know. Hopefully a lot. Some of those matching funds, we can draw down with this money. But a lot of the projects we're talking about, some of the buyouts are in areas that don't meet the federal government's cost-benefit analysis. So we're going to have to use local funds. A lot of these projects are going to be on creeks and tributaries that really don't qualify under the federal government. And then we have no idea what the state's going to do. The state of Texas, I always have to be careful not to be too critical, but the state has this thing called a rainy day fund with $11 billion in it. If Harvey wasn't a rainy day, I don't know what is. And so we're waiting to see what are they going to give us. And they keep saying when the legislature meets in January, they'll take that subject up. So maybe we don't have to do $2.5 billion on the local taxpayer. But in the meantime, we have to start the process.
Do you think people will be pretty open to this bond?
They will, because the approach we're taking, we didn't say what was in it exactly. We're going to the public and we're having 23 public engagement meetings in all the major watersheds. Okay. We're meeting with any group, anywhere, anytime, little civic clubs all the way up to super neighborhood alliances. And we're saying, here's all the things, but we need you to tell us what do you think will improve your area the most. And then we've got to prioritize those. And that's what the $2.5 billion is going to pay for. So this was a little different. We didn't come down from on high and say, here's what we're going to do. Now, it's had its humorous aspect because as an elected official, we live in this social media world. People will send emails. I can't believe you're doing this or you're doing that. And I've got this nasty habit of if I can, I call them. And they inevitably say, well, I didn't think you were going to read that. Well, what'd you send it for? But so many of them keep saying there's nothing in this plan for us. And I always make 2 points. Number one, how do you know? Because we don't have a plan yet. But number two, and the other one is people say, you've never done anything for us, why should we support the bond? You're the exact people that should support a bond because the places where we've already done the projects aren't going to get the bond money, you are. So it's a public education exercise, and so far it's going very well. Okay.
Who all's going out and talking to the communities?
I am, the county commissioners are, Harris County Flood Control will have 30, 40, 50 people at each one of the big ones.
All right, good. So you just told me the thought process. So self-funding, you've kind of discussed it, but would you suggest that other communities go that route?
I don't know that you have much choice if you just wait on somebody else to come in. If you're a small community, yeah, maybe you can do that. But in our case, we've got to get started on this. One of the admissions we had to make, county government in Texas is financed almost exclusively by the property tax. Everybody hates the property tax. The Texas legislature is always they're constantly trying to decrease the amount of revenue we get from the property tax. So we're having to tell people, okay, you want flood control? Guess what? You're going to have to pay for it somehow, and that's going to be through our only revenue source, which is the property tax. If the state comes in with $1 billion, say, then that's great. That's what we don't have to do locally. But in the meantime, we've got to be geared up to do it. And on the federal matching dollars, about 700 to 900 million of the 2.5 billion will go toward the match, and then that'll draw down 3 to 1 in most cases.
Okay.
So the 2.5 will become 4.5 to 5.